Anubin, Delvorna thar pertunadek, mighty prince and lord of the dark realm, Feltano Abrictun, we welcome thee. She lifted her head and raised her voice. We welcome thee. The crowd slowly climbed back onto their feet and again began to sway, with arms raised, as they intoned the name again and again, softly and more reverently now. Anubin, Anubin. The huge red eyes surveyed the scene with a malevolent glare. The witches became silent and still. Anubin regarded his followers for a long moment, and then he spoke, slowly, and his voice was as dark, thick, and foul as the sludge from which he had emerged. Daughters of darkness, you have done well. The assembly stood quietly, with heads bowed. Suddenly, from the surrounding trees, further along the track, a cry was heard. This way, they're through here. A large group of men carrying pitchforks and axes were running along the track towards the clearing. In the darkness, they were little more than shadows, illuminated only by the flames from their torches. Yet their intention was clear. The witches shrieked in terror, and chaos and confusion ensued as they began running hither and thither into the tangled undergrowth, vainly hoping to find some hiding place. Don't let them escape. The voice of the squire rang out clearly, followed by that of the parish constable. You heard him, lads. Get after him. Yelling at the tops of their voices, the men came bursting into the clearing and stopped in their tracks at the sight of the demonic apparition which awaited them. As the hypnotic red eyes bore down, they found themselves powerless to move. The archdeacon came rushing through the trees. Come on, men. What are you waiting for? The words stuck in his throat, as he also beheld the fiend in the cloud. Fools, what match are your puny weapons against me? The voice spoke slowly, but loud as thunder, and it was ugly and threatening. Frozen to the spot, the men watched, wide-eyed and helpless, as their fingers opened against their will, and their assortment of axes, pitchforks, and other implements fell uselessly to the ground. Anubin spoke again. Daughters, why are you hiding? Come, it would be most impolite to keep your victims waiting. Cautiously, the witches began creeping out from behind trees and beneath bushes. As they drew nearer to the now immobile attackers, their confidence returned, and they began to hiss and cackle. The high priestess produced an athame with its distinctive black handle. The blade glinted in the torchlight as she hobbled towards the archdeacon, now standing at the head of his band of vigilantes. His eyes were wide with fear, as sweat trickled from his scalp and down his neck. But he was paralyzed, held motionless by the power of Anubin, whose red eyes blazed exultantly with hellfire.